Hey, greetings, friends. Jacque Howard here, and welcome to Trenton 365 presents Jacque's R.E.A.C.H. R.E.A.C.H is an acronym that stands for Recreation, Environment, Art, Civics, and Health. So, under each one of those subjects, I like to sit down and have conversations with people who are subject matter experts, human beings that I know who are doing some amazing things. And then I do my best with my independent media access along with my relationships with WIMG 1300 and WPHY and their affiliates. I get to share this amazing content with the sheer idea and concept behind it that the more knowledgeable we are, the more aware we are, we can make better decisions and choices, and we can actually connect with people who are actually doing the work because Trenton 365 is civic engagement radio. Now, if you're someone who has a small business, you're an executive director of a nonprofit, you've got a church that you want to advertise, WIMG and WPHY have an amazing opportunity. We are now distributing content on radio and television throughout the Delaware Valley region. What that means is that when you pay for advertising space or list the sponsorship on WIMG 1300 and WPHY, it is now heard from central New Jersey, south along the Delaware River, all the way to Wilmington, Delaware. And that is on both sides of the river. So if you've got a New Jersey-based company, this is a chance to get involved in PA and vice versa, all the way down to Delaware. I'll be on the road quite a bit, looking for folks who have original content, podcasts, short stories, nonprofit organizations that are looking to reach a larger audience. That is what Trenton 365 and Jacque's R.E.A.C.H is all about. With that being said, we're going to be talking about something that I think oftentimes does not register on the radar of people who don't have school-aged children. Let me say that again. There's a lot of folks who don't have school-age children, meaning they've aged out, they're adults on their own, or they don't even have children at all. But in every municipality, there are public schools, or most will say. And Trenton is no different. As the capital city in the capital county of Mercer County, Trenton, New Jersey has a school board. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I have Denise that's coming on, I have Gerald that's coming on, and I have Jean that's coming on. They're going to talk a bit about their background, their history, their involvement with the Trenton School Board. But I'm sure they're going to have some information for you that you did not know. And more than likely, if you're someone in the audience who doesn't have a school-age child, you may be thinking, this doesn't apply to me. It doesn't matter. I don't have kids in public school. Yes, it does. Because you need and you want to be around educated human beings who know civics, who care about the community, have a full understanding about all areas of communal life. So with that being said, we have to make sure that we're raising up educated, confident, supporting and edifying the intellect of the young people who are here. So that as we transition and we get to, that space where we're comfortable with all this gray that we got shining, we can know that we have a group of young people who are extremely determined, well-versed, well-educated, because we've poured into them. We've poured everything we have into them because that's what building a community is all about. With that being said, let me get started and bring Denise on before I get too hot and start talking about what's going on with the children and so forth. Denise, I'd like for you to introduce yourself and then take on and let's share a bit about you and your involvement in the school board. Then we're going to go to Minister Gerald Truehart, and then we're going to give a chance to my good friend Gene Bouie to have him talk a bit about the school board as well. It's on you, Denise.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for having us. My name is Deniece Johnson. I am born and raised in the city of Trenton, a graduate of Trenton Central High School. I graduated in 1988. I find that I see myself as successful in this world. I've traveled the world. I've been overseas. I've played basketball at the collegiate level. Um, I have advanced degrees. I find myself comfortable in my community. I love interacting with Trentonians, people who live locally in our state. Um, I'm successful in my career. I am an administrator with the Department of Children and Families. I actually started out as a DIFAS worker, and I've transitioned into the legal office. So I help the state to try to mitigate litigation that's filed against the agency and staff. So that's my role, and I take pride in that. But none of this would have been possible without having to being educated in the Trenton Public Schools. I saw my teachers and counselors and school staff as inspirational to me. I played basketball under, Reggie Murray. And I feel like not having that discipline, like where would I be without, being educated in the Trenton Public School system? So I feel like this is an honor. It really is an honor for me to be able to serve the Trenton Public School children and their families in this way. I am currently on the board. I was appointed by Mayor Gussiora, and the three of us are, seeking reelection and reappointment to this board. So thank you so much for having me. And like I said, I just feel like, being able to serve the communities in this way, it really truly is an honor for me to do that. So and again, thank you for allowing us to share on your platform.
You're so welcome. And just a couple of
Yes.
things. I want to make sure that we big up the importance of sports, clubs, and athletics, etc. Any kind of clubs. There's this thing that I believe young people learn
Mhm.
when they are part of a larger group, some sort of a team, and they have a responsibility to not only the coaches and all those things, the
Right.
school, but also their teammates. Because that's your teammates, iron sharpens iron. You need sometimes your peers around you to give you that edification, to big you up, but also to call
Mhm.
you out when you're not
Right.
doing what you're supposed to be doing or what the unit is supposed to be doing at a team. And I think that we've got a lot of folks who've grown up in this mindset of, and no disrespect to Kobe Bryant or the Mamba mentality, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of folks who have this idea and this concept of, I'm Mamba mentality. I do this, I do this. But they've never gotten to the point where they recognize that they're part of a team. And
Yes.
you can't be on your own solo with a Mamba mentality if you're on a team that has a bunch of goats or something else. That's where the Mamba mentality comes in, where you've got to work on yourself. You got to be more
Mhm.
disciplined. You've got to learn how to work with others, figure out where you get in and where you fit in. And then you get this chance. So I don't think that there's a lot of folks who are taking advantage of all of the Mamba mentality. It's
Mhm.
just a nice ring into the ear because they can immolate Kobe when they're shooting or something like that. But
Mhm.
I'm
And
much
if
more of the idea of, hey, let's get young people together and all humans together in general and say that we've got a responsibility not to just ourselves, but to the community, to our
Mhm.
teammates, to those around us. And sometimes it's to people that we don't even like or we don't get along well with, but for the greater good, we have a responsibility to do the right thing. So thank you for that introduction,
right.
Denise.
Yeah, yeah. And if I can just add on that, being able to play a sport or be a part of a club, you have to learn how to persevere, right? When you don't succeed and you don't win, you gotta how do you sit in that and learn from that? And that's some of the things that our children can benefit from when they're part of sports clubs and part of other types of academic clubs within the school district. So yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit about hanging in there and extending beyond all of your failures and being able to learn from that. So.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Denise. And
Sure.
now I want to swing over to Gerald, Minister Gerald Truehart. Now, Minister, before I do this, I would be in error if I didn't talk about how long you and I have known each other, how long you have done some amazing things, your consistency. I want to say it again, your consistency, because there's a lot of people who don't understand that we can't just do this and then, oh, I'm changing my mind, I'm going over here. No, we got to get in where we fit in. And sometimes we got to go through this longevity process until something else changes. So, Minister Gerald L. Truehart II, I appreciate you and I want to publicly thank you for what you've been doing. And I want to turn it over to you for an introduction. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope you can hear me very well. My green lights are on, so I'm all set. One of the things I would say, man, is Truehart, Bouie, Johnson for school board, 3 for Trenton, working for you, safe schools, academic growth, superior governance, of course, transparent governance as well. But I tell you, man, I live and breathe education. It's in my blood. My mother graduated at Trenton Central High School, went to Trenton State College, got a master's degree, came back to the city of Trenton, spent 30 years in the public school system. My aunt Ann Truehart spent 30 years as growing from a teacher to administrator in the public school system. My father graduated from Trenton High School. My son just recently graduated from Trenton Central High School, Gabriel Truehart, in 2023. My father graduated from Trenton High School. My mom, they're childhood sweethearts, and have been married for over 50 years before my father transitioned in 2015. I'll tell you, man, again, it's in my blood. I spent 4 years at Morehouse College and 10 years in private sector at a Fortune 500 company, Prudential Insurance Company, before I launched into the deep into my own business. And then I got right into education, following behind the footsteps of my mother, my aunt, as well as my aunt Frederica Biddle, who was a reading specialist in the Lawrence Township Public School District for many, many years. And my uncle, Biddle, also Ponce, called Uncle Ponce, he was the director of the Lawrence Township Neighborhood Center out there in Lawrence Township for many, many years, back 30, 40 years ago. So again, it's in my blood, and I love being an educator. So I'm currently the Assistant School Business Administrator in Lawrence Township School District, been there going on 10 years in the business office, and then been in the school business world for about 20 years now, leaving the private sector. Married, 2 kids. Again, my youngest son graduated Trenton High School 2020, proud 2023 graduate of the Trenton Central High School. My oldest son followed my footsteps in Morehouse College. He's now in real estate now. He was in education at some charter schools in Brooklyn, New York, and then in Camden, working with inner city students, and that was his passion. So education is a family business for us. And I tell you, man, I love education. Been on the board now for 10 years, a decade, going on my 11th year. Looking forward to this election season. I want to encourage everyone to get out to vote on November 5th. Remember to take advantage of early voting on October 20, beginning October 26th. Get that when that ballot comes out. You'll find this. We're on the bottom there, so you got to scroll all the way down. Now you got to vote for the presidency. You got to go down to all the other elections, but we're right down on the bottom. So you'll see us 3, Truehart, Bouie, and Johnson, 3 for Trenton, working for you, safe schools, academic growth, and superior governance. And I tell you, man, we have an awesome superintendent, Mr. James Earl. We hired Mr. James Earl 3 years ago, and now he's on a longevity contract. I'm calling a longevity contract. We don't expect him to go anywhere. He's laying the groundwork, laying the foundation in accordance with our strategic plan around student academic growth, student achievement, community engagement and partnerships, developing the whole child, safe schools, facilities, infrastructure, staff development, well-being. And I'm so proud also to serve as currently the vice president of the Trenton Board of Education. I served also in the Jim Bouie when he was president. For 2.5 years, he was president. I did a great job in working together. We have a cohesive board that's working together for our students and for our families, and looking forward to hearing more about how we can support our community and working with our parents and our students, giving them the right environment that they need to be able to thrive. We'll continue to push forward to make that happen.
Joel, that was an amazing introduction. And, again, when you know folks and you see what they're doing, but you're not with them all the times, like you kind of forget some of the history and some of the work that they've been doing. So yeah, multiple generations. As an educator, you said that you love education on more than one occasion, which is super important. Not only Fortune 500 support with working in Prudential, but also as an entrepreneur as well. Thank you for all of that. And I also want to say for the decade that you've been serving on the school board, I'm pretty surprised that amazing how time flies. Time flies, it really does.
That's fly. It goes
10 years, bro. I think I remember when you first were running.
Well, remember, we were appointed, now, a little history on that. We were appointed, for the last 40 years, have been an appointed board by the mayor. I was appointed by Tony Mack in the first 3 years, and I was appointed by Eric Jackson for 3, and then Reed appointed me another 3. So there you go. There's your 9 plus 1. So that's the decade there, and now up for election. I am elated that we have together, Bouie and Johnson and Truehart together to make this happen. I was twisting Gene's arm a little bit there back in the little while. Well, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to leave that story alone. But we got a story behind that, but I'm so happy with us, being for Trenton, working for you again, safe schools, academic growth, and superior governance. But yeah, 10 years, brother. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without these two, with Denise and Gene and other board members, like Sasa and like Denise Johnson and like Larry Traylor, who won election last year in the first election in the past 40 years, and of course Yolanda Lopez, who was our current president. She's in her second term as president. Addie Daniels Lane, a former president of the school board as well, and Jeannie Weeklam, on the facilities committee. I can go on and on about our great cohesiveness and as we gel together under a strong superior board governance, as Gene likes to say a lot, superior governance, and it's amazing the work that we're able to do under the great superintendent of Mr. James Earl.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. And I'm looking forward to when you get back to the school board, make sure you tell all them Trenton 365, WIMG, WPHY are ready to sit down and talk, because we know it's super important for us to be out front and progressive with our communication so that more and more people can know what is going on, and more people can be encouraged to get involved in the process from wherever they are. We have enough education. We have enough support. We've got amazingly talented people who can help people on board in the system. You're not getting into this on your own. You're not jumping off into the deep end. We have enough people, again, with enough tenure and time served that we can slowly integrate people who want to be involved in this without them feeling rushed, without them being uncomfortable, etc. So to the folks who are in the listening and viewing audiences, please do not forget this opportunity for you to be involved in this. If you feel passionate, you feel called to do something, don't turn that light off or diminish that flame. Reach out, ask some questions. You may not be in a position to get everything that you're thinking about off the rip, but with the right support, edification, guidance, you may be able to be in a situation that's better for you, because we all know how God works sometimes, or you may be setting yourself up properly to go through the steps so that you don't make mistakes. You can learn from someone else who's potentially maybe transitioning to something else. The most important thing, I believe, is to take the step, hear what's being spoken to you in your spirit, listen to it, ask questions, and follow through and see where that goes. And these three folks here, Denise, I just met her, but I've known Gerald and Gene for as long as I've been doing radio and television. And with that being said, they're always there.
One more point. I forgot somebody real important. Attorney Austin Edwards, NAACP president, as well as TVA, man. He's community focused. Everywhere I go, he is. So, I mean, I see him everywhere. Of course, with Salvation and Social Justice on the Mount Zion AME Church, and Reverend Boyer.
Yeah.
And right on. So we're going to get into Gene, and then we're going to talk a bit about that, because I've got some notes here about legacy, about Superintendent Earl that we want to talk about. The idea and the concept of the whole child, right? So we're going to get into that in a minute. But Gene, I want to get back to you. I want to give you a chance to do an introduction, share a little bit. I mean, you've heard from Denise and Gerald, who you've known a long time. So let's have you talk a little bit about the school board from your perspective for an introduction.
Yeah, so thank you so much. First, let me say that And Brother Gerald said they had to twist my arm a little bit to actually run because so this is my 8th year. As a matter of fact, on the 16th of October, it'll be 8 years for me sitting on the school board. And so I was appointed, and so I found it difficult to now try to have to ask people to donate money for me to do what I've been volunteering to do. So I had to come to grips with it's okay because it is what it is, right? And so I guess for me, it's been a real honor, and I don't think people could really appreciate it. I know Brother Gerald can because he's been on the board for 10 years. But I remember when I first got on the school board, and I could be very candid, it was a hot mess.
Yeah.
And that's not an understatement, right? And it's not that they weren't good people who cared about children. It was dysfunctional because I think what didn't exist before and exists now is that we are really driven by supporting the child and his family. And we've been trained. So folks don't know, but we are the only certified school board in the county of Mercer. There are only 27 certified school boards in the whole state out of nearly 600 school districts. So when you think about the work that was put in for us to learn individually and collectively, that speaks volumes. And then we have an incredible amount of respect for each other. And so we meet and we have healthy discussions, but it doesn't rise to the level of disrespect because at the end of the day, the most important thing is the child and moving the district forward. So historically, Trenton, and people like to ignore stuff like this, but Trenton in the 70s was an Abbott school district, which means no funding and underperforming, right? Well, Trenton is still considered 50 years later a low performing school district. And so every day we strive to change that reality because we have some great children. Our children go off to Ivy League schools. Listen, we have 2 children that not only went to college, but they're professional athletes. And so when you think about children succeeding at that level, something good has to be going on in our schools. Right, that doesn't happen by accident. But anyway, so we're running because we have Brother Gerald and I have seen over our tenure, we've seen major. I've been through 6 superintendents in my 8 years here, and Superintendent Earl has been here for 3. This is now his 4th year, and where there's no consistent leadership, there can be no progress. All right. So I'm excited. And the one convincing thing for me was that we can't stop now. Right. And so the cohesiveness that we have for me, and this would help convince me, along with my colleagues kind of banging my head every meeting, is that we need to keep this cohesiveness because we're about to start the next 5-year strategic plan. So that would be a decade of a consistent direction, right? Which is important, and so that's why the thing that got me to serve in the beginning was that I had 3 great granddaughters attending Trenton Public Schools, and then the minister said to us back in the 90s that the majority of Black children attend public schools, and we should use our knowledge, skills, abilities, and influence to transform public schools, and so that's what drives my sacrifice, because it is a sacrifice, because being on the school board, we don't get paid. We were on, so I sit on 3 committees. My entire morning was in board committee meetings, preparing for next Monday's school board meeting. Now, on Friday, we're going to get all of the reading that we need to read. So you sacrifice a significant amount of time to help keep things going in the right direction. And I'm just really honored to serve with these amazing people. And I am so honored in the progress that Trenton Public Schools has made, people know, listen, so you get and then on another note is that um, when you, oh, I forgot this piece. We are now a master school board. So this is going to be notified. I think they're in November's county meeting.
Yeah.
So not only are we certified, we're master school board.
Mhm.
So I think there's only 20 of them in the whole state. So it speaks volumes to our commitment to the children. So anyway, and I'll just leave it there. I'm honored to serve. I'm not from Trenton. I grew up in Newark. I happen to be blessed and married the girl of my dreams, who is a Trentonian. so I stepped into heaven, and so I'm really excited about that.
Well, I want to say that, before we go into this other stuff, we got about 4 or 5 minutes left. But the whole family dynamic is so critical to the structure of a community. And I've heard you for a long time, Gene, talk about your relationship with your wife, the importance of children, the importance of your children, the importance of all of our babies. And so thank you again for mentioning that. We got a couple of moments left, but I want to make sure that we touch a bit on maybe some of the technical things that some folks who are looking at the school board questions that they may have. So just in the next couple of minutes, can you talk to those folks who are maybe the stern education people, just so they can get a better understanding of exactly what the three of you are talking about as you seek to serve again on the board. And anyone wants to go first, just jump right in.
Yeah, so I'll take a crack and then I'll pass off to Brother Gerald since he's been here the longest. I think one of the challenges that people have is they don't understand the function of a school board. Like there was.
Oh.
So we only have one boss. We only have one employee in the school district. That is the superintendent of schools. And if you go to our website, you'll see there's a link to the article on the Board of Education page that talks about who has responsibility and for what. And so when you think about our role, our role is governance. We advocate for children and parents. We have to also manage or oversee, better term, the budget of the school district. And so we could be brought up on charges if we start telling the superintendent what to do. In other words, we have a great conversation about, it's like, did you ever think about this? But we can't say we want you to do this or that. That's operational. That sole responsibility and authority rests with the superintendent of schools. So I think that's probably the one confusing thing that folks have. And then the second thing that people may not be aware of is that to sit on the school board, you have to be a resident of the city of Trenton. And so the way we look at it is, we're doing this work to get a return on our taxes that we pay because some of our taxes contributes to the school district. So I'll lob it over to you now, Brother Gerald, if you.
Real quick, Gene, you said that's great. That's right in line with who we are as a school board and who we are as a school board. And so, I mean, the point I want to make is that it's important for us to recognize that we're responsible to make sure that our schools are well run. And that's really our responsibility as board members and board governance. And we want to also make sure that we can continue to provide safe environments and the environment for students so they can learn. We advocate for our students. Our first, who we are as a board members and what we do as board members is for the children. We speak for the children of the district and for the families of the district. And our opportunities lie in how we serve students and how we serve the parents and the community of our
Yes, sir.
community.
Very good.
Great. Denise, last word from the three, and then I'm gonna close this out. You got like 30 seconds.
Okay, I just would like everyone to know that we need them. This community needs them. The school district needs them. We encourage everyone to come out to board meetings, watch us on YouTube, come out to events that the school district has, and come speak to us, come talk to us. We're open, and we just want our community to be involved in the growing of these children. They need our support. They really do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gerald Truehart, Denise Johnson, and Jean Bouie. I apologize. Business happens like this sometimes. I will be back in touch. You three always have a platform to come on to the Trenton 365 Jacques Reach program and talk about what you're doing, especially when it's got something to do with community engagement and growing a better community for everyone. Thank you so much. In
God
closing,
bless,
folks,
brother.
you can get in touch with everyone through me.